We've discussed both the Tyler Perry's Why Did I Get Married films and have over 15 videos in our playlist about the films.
But the one thing that we haven't talked about is the Why Did I Get Married play that ran for years before being released as a film.
And you guys have been asking for it.
So join us for this full breakdown of Why Did I Get Married, the play from 2006.
I'm Heit.
And I'm Cheri.
And you've discovered Axiom Amnesia.
We want to thank all of the supporters who helped to make this video possible. If you want your name to appear alongside these contributors, make a one-time donation of $5 or more via our website at axiom.app, Cash App, or you can head on over to patreon.com/axiomamnesia to enjoy all of the benefits of becoming a monthly subscriber.
There will be spoilers, so I don't know. Is it hard to find this DVD? Because we have the DVD. We found it.
Yeah, we had to do a little, a little searching, but we did find it. I don't even know if the plays are streaming anywhere or anything like that.
They should go ahead and put it on BET since it's basically the Tyler Perry network.
I know at this point, right? So just a reminder, this is going to be a full breakdown. However, it's going to be very long. You guys know we are detailed. And so it's going to be at least two-parter, just so you guys know up front. And this is the first part. Now, this is also a great time to become a member on Patreon or YouTube because our members will have access to our watch party of this commentary along with the full length of the film. So, you watch a scene and then we talk about the scene and it'll be like we're watching it together.
Exactly, we are, because I haven't watched this in about 20 years.
I have never seen this.
We're actually going to watch it right now.
Yes.
What's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. And so if you have never seen the play, this is going to be a great way to enjoy the commentary and the play all together. All you have to do is become preferably a Patreon member, or you can become a member here on YouTube, and you will find a link in the feed that will link you to this full version of what we would call a watch party, where you're watching the movie with us and you're able to see everything. And also, just so you guys know up front, this is a musical. It's kind of one of those church musicals. So there's a lot of singing in this. And what?
I'm not looking forward to that. I know I probably sat through it a couple times back in the day, but I'm not ready today.
Well, I'm excited because I've never seen this, so I don't know the full
music. I'm talking about the music.
Oh, well, I've never seen the play, the Why Did I Get Married play. I have never seen it. I've never seen it, and so I'm excited. And I would always feel a little bit jealous when you guys would in the comments would be like, "Well, in the play, this is that." I've never seen the play, so I'm really excited to actually watch this because I can already tell the story is a little bit different than what happened in the movie. So, yeah, I'm excited. And also, just as we mentioned before, we do have a full playlist of probably 15 or 16 videos that we have done on Why Did I Get Married. That is also linked in the description. How to join as a member, as well as the playlist, the Why Did I Get Married playlist. And and just check it to see if you've missed anything, because believe me, we want you guys to be watching these videos. So let's also talk about kind of a short background in case you have not seen Why Did I Get Married. The premise is it's these couples who are going on a marriage retreat, and they do this every year to, talk about why did I get married? And it's supposed to be to strengthen their marriage. That's just basically it. And of course, lots of drama and ratchetry ensues, and we all enjoy watching it. So that's kind of a brief description and background of what generally Why Did I Get Married is about. So without further ado, let's watch the movie.
We got the kids coming through, Trudy. They coming. I'm missing the photo album here.
So the film opens in the cabin where the retreat is going to take place. And different than the film, the retreat is actually in this cabin every year. And the cabin it appears to be owned by Poppy and his wife, Miss Essie, who has passed on a couple of years before.
Baby, it's been over 2 years since you passed. Things ain't been the same without you.
So when it opens, we see Poppy kind of talking to his wife's picture, talking to his wife, who is presumably in heaven. And we also understand that Terry is his son and his daughter-in-law is Diane or Diana, because the names may have changed slightly between the play
I think it's
and the
Diana,
movie.
yeah.
Yeah. And that we, so we learned a few things. They've been doing this marriage retreat for 6 years already.
God knows you had a gift with those kids.
And that Miss Essie or Esther, the Poppy's wife, she was instrumental in giving the good advice or whatever.
Maybe you knew what to say to keep couples together. We miss you.
So in a way, I think maybe Poppy and Esther were kind of in the role of Patricia and Gavin.
Yeah, they started the retreat, right?
Yeah. In this play. So that is one huge kind of difference. So there won't be a Patricia and Gavin. And also, it doesn't look like there's an Angela and Marcus either. That those two characters were added just for the film, so it would seem. And so this kind of lays the land that the play is really just going to be about what's going on between these two couples.
Yeah. And I think it's mostly what we see set up is about Mike and Sheila, because they bring up about, how Mike and Sheila and they're concerned about their marriage, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but we do find out that
Diane
has become a partner at her firm. I don't know what kind of firm. And then she mentioned Mike was doing good at his construction company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Want us to cover your favorite movie ASAP? A one-time contribution of just $50 or more to Axiom Amnesia gets you a deep dive on demand, a 30-minute discussion on any film you choose.
It's easy. Step 1, send $50 via our website, axiom.app, where you can pay via card, Apple Pay, or you can pay directly via Cash App at $Axiom Amnesia. See the links below. Step 2, tell us your movie, email, the name you want to appear on screen, and what kind of deep dive you want. General, a specific character, a particular aspect of the film, etc. Step 3, watch your deep dive on demand with your name listed as executive producer.
Lock in your deep dive on demand today and hurry. Spots are limited.
This offer is not valid for filmmakers or distributors. Subject to availability and terms apply. And we also find out that Sheila has been unhappy and she's gained over 80 pounds and stuff. And that Diane can't stand Mike. And she gives the reason because Sheila had to drive herself to the hospital when they had Mike Jr. So that's also a big difference because we know that they got a kid or kids, whereas in the movie, Mike and Sheila didn't have children.
Yeah.
So the other thing is that God is front and center in the play, which we knew because these were really kind of like church plays that were, making the rounds. And a lot of the original support for Tyler Perry and his plays were the church folks, right?
Yeah.
So that's what you're going to hear.
Right.
And the music is in gospel stylings for sure.
Yeah, but what we did hear too was that Sheila was unhappy and that's why she gained 80 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Sheila's been so unhappy. She's gained over 80 pounds.
Before this other couple even show up, now we're getting this information because she's unhappy in her marriage is the way that Diana put it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So then, of course, comes the first song. And we have Diana singing a song about generally about how they're basically hard times and good times in marriage, and it's about marriage, but how they relied on God to get through. And toward the end of the song, they have these lyrics that we've learned to say, please forgive me, and that's what kept us together today.
Kept us together.
Like the idea that the keys to long marriage are being God-centered and being able to say forgive me and to own up to whatever mistakes you've made. And also the expectation is not the all rosy days type of thing, that it's just going to be ups and downs, and you just weather that storm, and you can this is the key to a long marriage, right? So this is what's being said.
We're back at the marriage is hard thing. That's exactly what they said. Marriage is hard.
Marriage is hard. Mm-hmm.
Many times they told us we wouldn't make it, but we fight. Oh, that message is always just like, ugh.
A little weird. But then, who is out here telling people that their marriage isn't going to make it? Because you hear that as a song lyric all the time.
Let's say DDG would have married the Bailey girl.
Oh, Halle Bailey.
Everybody said, leave this guy and it ain't gonna work. And you know what I'm saying? That sort of thing just happens.
So maybe that's
now
it. And maybe
online,
not in so
right?
many words.
But back then, was people online saying things or just in your face like, this ain't gonna work, girl?
Well, and maybe in the church, right? Because I think that people can, from the outside, oftentimes look and be like, yeah, this is,
Yeah, I guess. But do you say it to people? Dang, that's
well,
harsh.
what you would do is you would, I think, say it before they get married, right? Because remember, this is church stuff. So presumably you're going to have marriage counseling, which usually most churches will require before you get married in the church. So when you have the counseling for them to see if you're fit to be married or whatever.
Then they ain't going to say you wouldn't make it. They're going to say you need put God up front and blah, blah,
They
right?
probably going to say you need some more counseling. And I don't know, y'all who have been really steeped and raised in the church, let us know, like, does the pastor ever be like, I can't advocate y'all getting married. No. I mean, I just assumed you get the counseling, they put some things on your radar, and pretty much the pastor is going to say yes to everybody, or the minister, the reverend, whoever. But y'all let me know. Go to the comments, because I know you guys, really have the 411 on this.
So what do you think of this first song? I don't think the first song was bad.
I don't either. I think the first song actually, I found myself feeling it. Now, let me tell you, I felt the song because I felt like I always feel the emotion of gospel music, and it's in a gospel styling, and I mean it mentions God, but the song really is more about the ups and downs of love.
I just looked at it straight as R&B. I don't know if they used a lot of that DX7 type of electronic piano sound in gospel. Because when I think of it, I think of the 80s and 90s, not necessarily the 2000s, right? And I associate that more with just straight R&B. I feel like it sounded like a lot of the gospel music
that was in the 90s and early 2000s. Because if you think about, like late 90s type Yolanda Adams, singing about, Open My Heart and all those types of, like, but
I'm talking about like the instrumentation that we heard.
Okay,
right?
So the rhythm for me, which is what I was kind of paying a little bit more attention to, the rhythm, the melody part of it, to me is it's that simple kind of, you don't even require instruments to sing this type of song and have it work. It's just real simple. And, but I did feel moved. And also I should mention the cast here because, the cast will be some names that you know. So we do have Donna Stewart, who is the one playing Diana. And, she sings this first song. LaVon Davis plays Poppy, and Terry is played by Greg Stewart, who, I don't know, is he related to Donna Stewart? Y'all go to the comments and let us know. Is this her husband? Is this her brother? And then we have Cheryl Pepsi Riley playing Sheila. Now, you all, if you're old enough, if you know, you know. If you know Thanks for My Child, when I was a kid, this was a hit song. And my mama used to love the song Thanks for My Child. That was Cheryl Pepsi Riley. And I think it probably was her biggest mainstream hit. I do remember seeing that she was going on the circuit, like, doing plays and live shows and stuff like that. Yeah. And so, she's going to be probably the biggest old school name in here for sure. And then Trina is in here, is played by Demetria McKinney. We also have Troy being played by Tony Grant. Cordell Moore plays Mike. Beverly Fox plays Janice. And that's pretty much the main cast that you're going to see in here.
So what we do get is Diane and Terry have a real good marriage, and that just makes me think of 8 Mile Eminem, where he says his real name's Clarence, and Clarence lives at home with both parents, and Clarence's parents have a real good marriage. Like, it just seems like the way you set this up, this is going to be the perfect couple, because this, and then we're gonna have a contrast with whatever couple shows up next, probably.
Yes, whatever flagrant foolishness. But like the idea, though, back to Diana not liking Mike.
But I'm still upset with him for letting Sheila drive herself to the hospital when she was in labor with Mike Jr.
It's that there's this history that's there, because they talk about, we've all been friends for 15 years. She doesn't like Mike. And Mike is not also giving any indication to Terry that there's anything wrong with his marriage. Mike is happy. Mike, he got the biggest black construction company in the area, and he's doing really good financially. So he, when he talks to his friends, it's all good. But when Sheila talks to her friends, it's not good. So that's what we have to, keep in mind as we move forward with this. And eventually Mike and Sheila are going to show up.
To tell you something, Dad, do not tease your husband with the butt. It ain't right.
So one of the things that happens is this dynamic where Poppy is, being the kind of comedic distraction. And so he always is making these jokes. It sort of will remind you of a cross between Brown in the Madea movies and Madea and her brother Joe, right?
Yeah.
And he's talking about, they were dancing, and he's like telling Terry and Diana, don't tease your husband with the butt and all of this and that. And
son, when you shake it, you grab a hold on to it and lean back.
A woman's butt has caused many a war and all of that. So the comedy is very familiar if you have been watching the Madea films, like most of y'all have. And then we hear about Troy, right?
Troy's coming, and he says he's bringing a new girl this year.
Every time Troy come, he bring a new girl.
Troy is coming to the retreat, and he's bringing a new girl this year. And they talk about how he brings a new girl every year. And, it's just a lot of, interestingly, though, a lot of sexual innuendos just in the comments that people are making.
Would you just keep your eyes off my woman's butt, please?
Oh, I was just telling you what the Bible said.
Which is a little interesting considering that, this is for the church folks. So it's not like over the top, but it sure is a lot. So the difference in this play is that Troy is not like Sheriff Troy, who they don't know when they come to the retreat. He's one of their friends also. So that is a huge difference.
School. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And, he was the one who said that he was always going to be single, blah, blah, blah. So then, because, back to the whole idea of the sexual innuendo, Poppy actually at one point starts talking about he was jealous because, his son and his wife is all touching on each other and being lovey-dovey.
God, you two can be so selfish. Who I'm going to lay hands on?
And he's like, well, I'm going to lay hands on myself,
Don't worry about it. I'll lay hands on myself.
Poppy!
Be quiet. Be quiet.
So it's kind of like this double entendre between, the laying hands on that you would do in a church situation and him, the implication of master. Yes. So, so then Mike arrives and he comes in the door by himself.
What's up, y'all? Big Mike in the house.
Big Mike.
And they're like, well, where is Sheila? Sort of reminds you of the movie when this happens, right? Except Sheila's not driving up the mountain to save her marriage. He said
Sheila's getting the bags.
Getting the bags out
Mike.
the car.
She's out in the car getting the bags.
Getting bags, and what's the matter with your hand?
Like Mike is just treating her like a
Mike
workhorse.
don't care at all.
He just, yeah. And so the person so in the film, you would see Angela doing a lot of taking up for how Mike was treating Sheila. But all of those things between that you saw Angela doing, they are in the character Diane clearly in this play. And so Diane is like, why are you doing that? Why are you why are you treating her this way or whatever? And so Sheila comes in holding bags and stuff like that.
Yeah. But why did Diana send Terry to go get the bags? You should have sent Mike. Mike, go get the bags.
Well, because she could control Terry. You can't control somebody else.
Terry should have been like, Mike, you better go get these bags.
See, that's what should have happened. But, Terry is, probably not a hugely confrontational type of man,
yeah,
right?
He seemed to like Mike too, right? He's trying to keep it all cordial and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Diva, get in here, girl. Oh, good to see you.
Oh, it's good. So then when Sheila comes in, Diana is telling her like, well, girl, put this bag down or whatever. The men are going to cater to us this weekend. And so then there's a little banter that goes on.
Thank you, Poppy.
Just suck it up and step on through.
Shut up. And so Mike is making reference to, he gonna have to work during part of his time there at the weekend. And Sheila's like, well, you got to work. Why you got to work? He like, somebody got to pay to feed you.
Baby, you always got a lot of work to do.
Well, somebody's got to pay to feed you, Sheila.
Because when Sheila comes in, everybody is surprised by her weight gain,
Yeah.
And so this is like kind of the fat shaming or, jokes
and
about
then,
fatness.
that was the jokes because, the crowd was laughing and everything. But so this whole working thing was in the first film, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was it Terry who was always working?
Terry didn't want Diane to be working. And Diane had her laptop at the retreat and stuff because, Diane
and
the lawyer.
then making calls and stuff, yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So a lot of this stuff was just remixed, I guess you could say, and just kind of given to different characters, which...
Yeah, do you have to do that to make a movie?
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think it's that he has so many things he wanted to touch on, right?
Yeah.
All the things that could put weight and destroy a marriage, right? Put weight on the marriage and destroy it or be tension issues like, infidelity, workaholics and, probably substance abuse and, whatever else happens, so he wanted to attack a bunch of different topics. And I think he thought it would be better to split it up. But that was one of the questions I was going to ask you. What do you think about having fewer couples or just fewer characters? Because
yeah, I think it works for a play, right? Because there's already a bunch going on and you're looking back and forth and trying to figure out who's saying
who
what
and
who's what.
Yeah.
And then in a movie, you have time to give us the individual time with the characters, right?
Yeah.
But trying to give people reasons to leave the room and then have these specific
Individual
interactions
conversations.
between, you can't really do it as fast as you can in a movie to kind of set up who it is and what they're doing. And then the whole where you have the different sexes together, right, and talking and give you insight of who these people are, right? So
right, because who they say, just like in the first movie, how the men talk when there are only men around is different than how they're talking when they're amongst their wives.
Right. So then we get a scene where they split apart, right, and then you got Sheila and Diana alone. Right, and Sheila is talking about she invited Trina.
Yeah, and then of course Diana is like, "Oh, why you invite her? I don't like Trina."
I invited Trina.
Sheila, why did you invite her?
So they known Trina a long time too, unlike
And
in the movie.
Diana don't like nobody.
That's what I have in my notes. I was like, Diana don't like nobody. But in here, she's saying the reason she doesn't like her is because she's been a hoe since the 4th grade.
Trina, I know, has been a tramp since the 4th grade. Now look, you better watch yourself around her, Sheila. I don't trust her.
4th grade, come on
How you a hoe
now.
in 4th grade? Y'all, go to the comments.
I guess you can say that if you're not talking about a 4th grader who you see now. But if you were in 4th grade when a person was in 4th grade, then you can't gotta say that, right? Just think about if you see a random 4th grader doing stuff, you ain't gonna be like, she's a hoe. She's a tramp,
like,
right?
it's just weird. Yeah.
Yeah, but you like, I've been knowing her since 4th grade. I know what she's like, bruh.
Okay, so I'm going to just try to play a little bit of devil's advocate against myself with this and say...
Against yourself?
Against myself, because, my thing is like, it doesn't make any sense that you would, be like a 4th grader as a hoe. Okay, so, but let's just say, what are the principles? Like, maybe she follows whole tendencies and principles. So, in other words, do you have to actually have done the
you could
do
be
or do
sneaking
whatever?
Off the kiss
right.
boys
You
and
could
stuff
sneak off and kiss
yeah.
boys. You could be the type who is not a girl's girl.
You probably get around boys and start what is it called?
Twerking
Switching
and
twerking.
doing all kind of attention-seeking behaviors in front of the boys, and to the detriment of your friends who are girls, right? Or with no regard for them.
I think a part of it, I don't know, I ain't a girl, but they get, when a girl gets all the attention from all the boys, then I think there was some kind of jealousy. I don't know if you call it jealousy necessarily, but they want some attention too. I would think.
Everybody wants attention, and
you hogging it up doing mischievous things,
right?
Unbecoming things,
right? And the girls who. I mean, I would just say, like, first of all, if you are like the most physically attractive, if you're prettier, if you got whatever the boys would consider the best body at that time, right? Whatever they're interested in and looking at. Because I think back to 4th grade, I mean, by 4th grade, I say most people are liking whoever they're going to like by then. You were having crushes and you know what I'm saying? So like, and it doesn't have to be, fully sexual. It's just that this is the normal type of adolescent behavior.
Right. It's that whole sort of thing where you get this idea of no tricking from boys and stuff, right?
In 4th grade?
I'm not saying in 4th. I'm just saying that at some point it comes around, right? Because everybody ain't got money. So then you got to undo advantage because your parents just happen to have money, right? Or like we talk about certain people who had so-called relationships in school with men who had cars, right? Because the kids can't have cars. It's that same sort of an idea, right? Because of, it's not this whole sort of an economic system we have. It's just not really natural to us. You know what I'm saying, right? It's not fair. It's not equitable or equal,
right.
So
right.
I think that kind of plays into that much in the same as, you just happen to look better or you're doing things you shouldn't be doing, right?
That. And it wasn't until we were watching something and a man was making a reference about that. He was like, when we were young, we all in high school or whatever, but then her boyfriend is 27, at 25, and you can't compete with that, like you said, because you don't have a car, you don't have the things, you can't do the things that a fully grown man can do.
You don't have a place to take
You ain't got to right.
be
All of these things. And it's so funny because obviously in high school, that never occurred to me that's how the boys were feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like how younger boys, when they see that the grown man pulling up to pick up his girlfriend who's 14 and 15 and 16 and whatever from high school, that they're like, I can't even compete. Like,
I don't have a car.
I don't have a car.
I don't even have a bike.
I don't have a, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I remember in high school, there were plenty of older men,
right? So
who were trying to be on the crowd,
and
like
it's
that.
like, okay, let's say you are still a child and have a car. You got a car. The other cats don't have a car. You don't stand a chance. All other things being equal, that's just the way of the world.
Well, and also let me just bring up back to the whole Mike thing. Mike, when he came in, though, he made a comment about Diane being fine or something. She was kind of like bent over.
Diane, how have you been?
I'm fine, Mike.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, like, you don't even respect your
She was
boy.
like, I'm fine. And he was like, sure is.
Yeah, like that's sideways comments that you... And see, my thing is, all right, it's bad enough if you would be looking at your wife's friends. But what makes it even worse is you're friends with her husband. And that's like a very... So, clearly they're setting up Mike to be the sleazeball that he is, that we knew him to be from the film. But the thing about the film is... Mike didn't appear like the Mike of the film. I don't think would have made that comment because I think he was mostly cool. I don't know, man. Now I'm second guessing myself as I talk because he still spilled everybody's business.
Yeah, but he didn't like the other people. Nobody liked him and he didn't like them. Is why I think it's different, right? So the relationships were adversarial, right? Kind of like Pam and Martin. It was adversarial. So, if they would... He didn't even really see them that way because, I guess when somebody just don't like you, then you ain't going to be trying to make no positive comments toward them.
True.
And that's kind of what happened in the movie, I guess. Even though you could check out our theory about Mike and Angela from Why Did I Get Married?
Yes, we like to play with y'all with these fan theories. But yes, be sure to check that out. It's in the playlist. Now, the other thing that we find out, remember how we said Troy had gone to school with them. So Troy is not Sheriff Troy. He's like the Troy that's a friend in this friend group. And he went to school
married?
with them. No, he said he was going to be single forever.
But why is he showing up at the Why Did I Get Married?
Well, he's just their friend and he's showing up there and he's bringing some girl with him. So maybe they're going to be talking about why they might get married. But he said he was never getting married. And then Diana explains that Troy used to have a crush on Sheila.
Although he did have a mighty big crush on somebody I know.
And Sheila's response at that point was she was like, well, that was when I was 15 and a size 6.
I was 15 and a size 6.
I know that's right.
Oh, she shouldn't even be entertaining that.
Like really, but yeah. And what I do think is a little bit, this is a little sketch on your friend's part. Your real friend, your friend who's supposed to be into the Lord and everything, you're married and she's like reminding you of another guy that's in the friend group that maybe you could just transition to. Like that's a little odd to me.
In this religion, you can have a divorce and just move on like it never happened.
Oh my gosh. Not if you're reading your Bible, like it wouldn't be those wouldn't be the ground.
The religion ain't the Bible. The religion is what the preachers say.
This is true. So we get that little tidbit in there. It's like, oh, he used to have a crush on her. So we're all kind of waiting with bated breath. When is Troy coming in? Right. But Sheila does give a little bit of background on what's going on between her and Mike. And she says that, they're arguing all the time over everything, just every little thing. And it seems like he's not even interested in saving her marriage is what she said.
Like he's not even interested in trying to save our marriage.
Now, what are you two fighting about?
And so,
that idea, when I heard it, I'm like, save our marriage. I think like when you have a relationship with a person, it's about can you basically exchange the word marriage for relationship? I think of it differently when I hear the word marriage. because I think it's more about this connection that these people have. Right. But the way marriage is generally used, it's not really about that. Even like when you say marriage is hard and whatever, you know, like I'm not saving anything that's hard. You know what I'm saying?
Well, but I also think the idea of it being hard is just weird to me.
But it's like the idea of saving your marriage versus saving this bond you have with a person, right? If it's worth it for me to, you know, have this mutual bond with the person.
Well, and then like you think about other bonds that you have with people, right? Like maybe you have a favorite cousin or maybe one of your siblings or whatever, or your parent. Like, is it hard to have a bond with them? I would never describe it as hard. Yes, there might have been hard times where different things and challenges come, but like I wouldn't be like, Lord, it's hard to have a sister. It's hard to have a cousin. Like that's
and
not
you don't
how
save
I
it for the
describe
sake
it.
of having that thing. It's because of some mutualism in it. Right?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you know, it's love there. It's, you know, whatever exchanges we have together.
It's because you don't want to lose the things that you have with that bond.
Right, yeah.
And that's why you would want to save it, right? And that's true of any relationship, like you said. But you're right. The word
and it's
marriage.
like he don't want to save our marriage, but he doesn't.
He doesn't want to be in a relationship with you.
Exactly.
Like, he don't like you.
There's nothing to save there.
Yeah. Like
Right?
it's already gone. You know, that's just really it, because this notion that, oh, it's hard. It takes so much work. It's so hard. Like life is hard in the sense that there will be hard times, but these relationships and stuff, it's just weird because marriage is the only relationship people describe this way. Even though people got problems with all the people that they have relationship with from time to time, but somehow, at least used to be, now you just, you know, cut folk off. But used to be that you would work on it, or you would, you know, come to some kind of conclusion because you don't want to lose that relationship. That's what it is you love this person and you don't want to lose them, you know, and you figure out a way to move forward. But it's just it's weird to me.
So we did find out that Sheila has multiple kids.
Yeah, she does.
At least 2.
I got some pictures of your god babies you haven't seen yet.
Oh, I haven't seen.
Yeah.
And but Sheila also gives us this information. She said, well, you know, Diana, now that you're saved, I don't know what I can say and what I can't say.
But now that you're saved, I don't know what I can say or what I can't
Girl,
say. And
stop it. Listen,
So I also think the other.
That's the thing. Because, you know, they try to be like, oh, it's just whatever. But, you know, you say certain things and then people just go all off somewhere else, right? Oh, don't say that. It's because it is God willing. And, oh, man, come on. I got to change the way that I speak to you now that you saved. You know what I'm saying? Even though I could be the most Pan-Africanist Black power person, right? If you say certain things to me, I'm not going to always be like, well, you can't say this because I just quote, accept you as you are. You know what I'm saying?
And what we talk about is like the idea of, to me, the words are like the dressing. You know, the words are the thing that you can use to try to manipulate, to try to, you know, but it's like, what are your actions saying? What is your heart? What is the heart? You know, am I going to get now certain words will be triggering, you know, but can I get so wrapped up in the delivery of it that I miss it? You could go around talking and quoting scriptures and all kind of stuff and be a straight up demon. But at the same time, there could be a person who doesn't do anything, but they live a life that it exemplifies the best of the things that you will find in these holy books and scriptures.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think that it takes some level of, I guess people might call it spiritual maturity to see that.
Yeah, but what about the idea of, you know, not being able to say certain things?
I think that that's real, because that's true no matter if it's that you got saved, you picked up something, you became a vegan, you started working out, whatever it is that you're into now, then people are quick to adopt that, and then everything is seen through that lens. I don't know what that is, because I mean, we all are victims of that to some degree. That's just, I guess, part of human psychology. But yeah, I mean, it does happen. But the other part is people they say come as you are to the church, but then people are so judgmental.
Yeah. I think part of it is that it's that initialism thing, right? When you first get into the thing, then you're all gung-ho about it. You know what I'm saying? So then you be like, oh, don't say that. Don't do this. You know, oh, this is bad. And then after a while, you know, it starts to lose some of that.
Well, and I mean, the
And then you
parable of the
more-
sower that Jesus talks about, it says that it's kind of this, right? You know, when talking about the seeds and right, the seed that grow that's on fertile ground. This is the seed on stony ground. You know, when he's explaining what all of this means, it's like, okay, the word and the message can go to somebody, but if it's not fertile ground, if it's gonna just go away as soon as it's challenged, you know, but one of the signs of newly converted of anything is gonna be you just gonna evangelize. If you think that, oh girl, I drank this vinegar and I lost 50 pounds, then you're gonna evangelize that. If it's that, oh, I started doing something else health-wise, you're gonna evangelize that. Oh, you know, I went here and I was able to do XYZ and now I coupon. You're gonna evangelize that. That's just how humans are. You know, it's just something in us that makes us that way. And I think that we have to consciously resist being that way. And judging people through those lenses. But I think it gets easier when you realize that just the same way as you think what you're doing is also right, no matter whatever the area it is, understand that other people feel just as strongly about whatever they're doing and how you must look to them. You know what I mean? What the reverse looks like. So while you over here judging them, talking about how people need to get your life together and do. But what I found interesting about Diana here is that you spending all your time talking about how you're going to show you how to work it and use your, you know, feminine wiles and stuff like
I can teach you a thing or two about how to please your man.
these are this is kind of sketch and inappropriate a little bit.
Is
you
it?
know, yes, which is why it's so funny that this is church stuff. But Tyler Perry is coming
Oh, you mean as a
right up to the edge.
as a Christian work, not
Right,
as a,
right. But you know, like church, just because you're church folks doesn't mean that you not obviously everybody's making babies, they having sex, right?
Yeah.
And it's within the quote right way because you're married and
I
all
guess,
that.
but if
Certain conversations
if you
would
can't
be
put
considered
the,
inappropriate.
all right, so if we're writing a new book in the Bible, you can't put it in there, then you know what I'm saying? If it's like shake that booty, you know what I'm saying? You're not gonna put that in the new book.
But this is how we're like entertaining ourselves, and I'm not judging it from because I'm not quote unquote churchy. So you know, like I found the things to be a little funny. And whatever, and you know, the comedy was okay, or you know, whatever. But it's just when you look at it, this is probably though a good depiction of how church people are, or many of them are, not as a monolith or anything like that.
But whatever you do, use your weapon, honey. Use it.
But yeah, you know, and then like even at one point she was like, I may be church, but I lay hands, you know. So there is just I don't know, you know. And I'm sure somebody in the comments can give the appropriate rebuttal that's usually given. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but it's something like, you know, I'm still human. I still fall short of the glory. You know what I'm saying? And so it doesn't mean that I don't make mistakes, but I'm just striving and all of that stuff. But in this context, I just found that interesting because Diana is acting like she's the gold standard. Her marriage is oh so great and this and that. You know, she's getting all in Sheila's business about, you know, the status of her marriage, what she's doing. She's tempting Sheila with as a married woman with another person that her husband knows, like just because she doesn't like, you know, I don't know. What do y'all think about Diana in this?
Yeah. But so the thing is that why are you know that Mike ain't good, you think Troy's better or whatever and all this and she shouldn't be there, but you're like, I'm going to teach you, I'm going to show you how to keep your man.
Yeah.
And make him happy.
And she
why
got
you want to
two
make
whole
that dude
kids
happy?
too. What about the effect on the children if
Oh,
you're
well.
trying to break up that family? You know, like it's a whole
that's
thing.
a terrible guy the way he's depicted.
He is terrible.
So
He is terrible.
I don't know if he should be there.
You know, but like I feel the decision once you to find yourself in a terrible situation, the decision on what to do about extracting yourself when there's more to think about than just you, like children and other stuff. Like I don't know. I think friends have to fall back and say, "Hey, I'm gonna support you whatever you decide." But like leaning on your friend like this, I don't think is.
So
the
was
best.
it Hitman Sammy Sam or the last Mr. Big? Do the stepdaddy.
I don't know. Somebody in the comments tell us. Somebody in the comments tell us. But
you gotta go out and get him a stepdaddy if this is the daddy.
So just like the women were sitting up talking to each other, then you also have the men gathering and doing the same thing.
More important I want to talk to you about.
Oh, all right, man, go ahead.
Bruh.
So next we see that Terry, Poppy, and Mike are all talking.
Yeah.
And what you had brought up earlier about, that Terry should have told Mike he was wrong for having her carry the bags and all that.
He made a big production out of it. Terry is
they
just
said
like,
it behind closed doors, so they didn't say it in front of the women.
yeah, but even still, he's like, man, there's something I need to talk to you about, man. All right, are you ready?
Man, I think you was wrong for letting Sheila carry all those bags from the car today.
Who you sure was?
I think you were wrong. Get the hell out of here.
In that moment, couldn't he have just been like, come on, Mike, let's get these bags, right? You could have just
let's
said
get
that. You
these
didn't have
bags.
to, you could have given the commentary
Right, or even once
privately.
you're upstairs, man, you wrong for this. Like, God, I need to talk to
He was
you.
like, "Sit
No,
down.
that's
I
not
need to
how
talk
it
to you."
goes.
It's very, very dramatic, very dramatic.
Yeah.
And so he tells him he was wrong, and then Mike tries to say
I'm
he's
trying
right.
to get her to lose weight.
I try every way I can.
Man, I'm trying to get her to lose weight any way she can.
Oh, Michael, that's not how you do it, son.
And then Mike is even like, look at your wife, and then look at mine.
Look at your wife and look at my wife. There's nothing about my wife that says good time.
And so he even is talking about how good Terry's wife Diana looks to him. But I don't know. That's a little weird to me. But maybe that's what guys do. But look at your wife and look at my wife. Is that? I mean,
No, a bunch of this is not.
No.
What happens?
no. Tyler
Right.
Perry.
But it's only one way to show it, right? I guess.
Yeah.
So these sorts of
He
things.
just got to be flagrant in ways that just seem totally ridiculous.
Yeah,
But
and you have to make the comparison with just characters on a stage too.
That's
right?
true.
That this is what Mike is thinking, I guess. Or, hey, audience, look at the two different wives, right? Your one has a baby, right? But then he's trying to get out the line that was kind of brought into that first movie. Why did I get married, right? I went to the gym with my baby.
See me? I went to the gym with my baby.
Yeah,
Right, so
yeah.
he played the Troy role, and you know what I'm saying? I did this because I love my wife, that I took her to the gym, which is kind of the same as I'm making her carry, not making, but that's a little different. I'm making her carry the bags to lose weight, right? I think it's the same idea, but it comes down to what the woman desires and wants too, and having
Yeah.
autonomy at the same time.
Yeah.
Because in the movie, it was Sheila, I guess she had to be convinced to want to lose weight, right? But that is left out of here. We don't know if that what Diana went through. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because basically what Terry was saying, okay, first of all, it's exposed that Mike and Sheila have 3 kids.
When I married her, she was a Coke bottle. Now she's a 2-liter Pepsi.
And Terry and Diana have 4 kids, so that's 4 pregnancies.
Terry, your wife has had 4 kids. Now look at her.
And how pregnancy changes women's bodies. Maybe if you're real young and you have one, the snapback might have snapped back. But, after you've had multiple children and stuff like that, maybe you haven't lost all the weight with one baby and then you have the next baby. All of these things and just the hormonal changes that go on in your body are not the same as like a man's body. First
This
of all,
doesn't need to be explained, I don't think, right?
But I don't think it needs to be explained. But the point is that they had 3 and 4 kids.
Yeah,
that was really
exactly.
my point here. And so given that they had those amount of kids, Terry was saying like, hey, well, I saw my wife and I was showing her a way. I worked out with her so that we did these things together. And I
think it's sort of like placing value on it, right? It's legitimizing his argument.
That she should be thinner
Yeah.
or look better.
Right? It's like, but look at your wife. Yeah, because I took her to the gym. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's this value you're placing on both of your wives based on their size.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I was also thinking about it, maybe like you brought up about the autonomy, what the woman wants to do, how she feels about it. And, I don't know. We talk about this a lot and we talked about it with Sheila, but like if it were so simple as to say you want to do a thing, you want to lose weight and let us lose weight now, if only it could be so easy. And, so I think it oversimplifies it. I think for people who've never had issues with weight, it's easy to talk about what somebody need to do and should do and what feeds into their obesity or their being too heavy. it's real easy to talk about all that. But I really would want to listen to the people who have been there and managed to dig themselves up out the hole and turn their life around in a way. Those people I can listen to. If you've always had an amazing physique and it just has come wonderfully, I don't really know how much you really did for that to be the case. And I keep making the analogy of people who are just, let's say, naturally more academically gifted. What did they do? Well, you could say I read a whole bunch of books, right? But at the end of the day, that is true. But it was easier for you to do everything you had to do to become impressive in that way. And I think that is the difference.
Yeah.
So anyway.
So Mike, first thing he do, he started asking about Trina.
Is Trina here yet?
Hey, listen, Trina get here yet?
Trina?
Like what? So we already got our eyebrow raised because, most of us have seen the movie. So then
Even
the guys
if you
are
didn't
like,
see the movie, right? He's like, Trina here?
Poppy is like, you don't invite no single woman to sit with a bunch of married women.
Let me tell you something, son. You don't invite no single woman to sit with a bunch of married women.
I don't know about that.
I'm like,
that's a tough one.
It just is weird with the marriage retreat thing, though.
Is it a marriage retreat?
Well, maybe it's not a marriage retreat, but he said marriage retreat. These retreats, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's not a marriage retreat.
It's
Go
just
to
a
the
retreat.
comments. Is this just a let's get together and say how we love each other and our relationships and whatever?
Yeah, and then it's okay if Trina comes. It's just that nobody likes her.
Yeah.
Except Mike and she.
Then
What
comes
they
the
doing
bombshell.
together? Okay.
Terry admits though that he cheated on Diana.
Bruh.
You cheated on Diana. You didn't even tell me nothing. You always sweat me. He cheated.
This ain't no perfect Terry.
Mm-hmm.
Not the Bible-toting church boy.
Mike is like, not the Bible-toting church boy. Tell me all about it. Mike is like he loves it.
Well, tell me this, man. Tell me everything about it. I mean, did you really get it? I mean, did you?
Mike.
He's like, tell me the details. Was it good? Was
And
it?
then you have to justify it, though. He was like, we was having problems.
Yeah, man. It was 3 years ago. We was having problems.
Bruh.
Whatever.
That's always the thing in film.
Nobody's ever cheated when everything was going amazing in their marriage. It's just that we were having problems.
What problems were you having?
Bruh. That's just the line you're supposed to say, I guess. So then Poppy, he's adding the comedy still. And he's like, well, he says something about basically how the wrong thing feels so good and whatever like that.
I tell you, it's something about doing the wrong thing. It sure feel good when you're doing it.
And so we're talking about how women know.
But they know.
Oh, yeah.
They know.
Like, this is a thing that I think comedians and stuff do well.
Mm-hmm.
They tell people things that they want to believe or what they want to hear, right? So if you be like, women know, and then women gonna be like, yeah that's right.
Know.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just weird.
So Terry says that he told Diana that he cheated.
Bruh.
She ever find out?
He told him.
He told her.
And then Mike is like, you don't tell her. I wouldn't tell. She don't deserve to know. Mike is just terrible, no matter what.
That's what you get. I wouldn't have told her nothing. What a wife don't know won't hurt her.
Go to the comments, y'all. If you cheated, would you tell? Would you just volunteer this information? Not would you admit, but like, would you voluntarily be like, it's just on my heart, and I just want you to know that I smashed this lady on my job.
I just want to ruin
I just want you to know that I
much.
did XYZ.
I want to ruin your year real fast.
Like, would y'all tell? Did y'all tell? If you did tell, go ahead and tell us the story if you feel like it. I'm interested in, I'm always interested in the human psychology aspect of these things. But anyway, so, and Mike is still talking like he was in the movie, what a wife don't know won't hurt her or whatever. But then Terry's like, I think I hurt her a lot.
I don't know about that. I think I hurt her pretty bad.
I think that what I did hurt her a lot.
Yeah, because you told her.
Well, bruh.
That's kind of what was hinted at, right? Because he told her.
Yeah.
But then, so they start talking about whatever because Poppy leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And why is Terry whispering in Mike's ear what
his wife
his
does
wife
to
does?
him?
But listen, Terry, you mean to tell me your good Christian wife does all that?
Like, that's just weird to me.
Yeah.
Dog, I married a freak. My wife does it all, baby.
I don't know. maybe it's just me and I ain't close enough to nobody, but I ain't never had no conversation about what somebody's significant other or wife was doing, has done.
Meaning you ain't never said that to somebody and they ain't said it to you. Like,
exactly.
that's just a weird, guys.
But if it was somebody else, then we probably did have a conversation. Right? That's a little different. If it was Trina, they're like, let me tell you what Trina done.
Right, but not your wife.
Yeah, that's just not what happens.
Like, bruh.
But hey, if you're a dude or whoever, just come on, let us know.
Yeah, how does it go? And some stuff could be generational,
Generational, cultural, regional, it's just different types.
So, but then they make this joke, which I don't know how I feel about this joke about Kunta Kinte is weaved in there. Because Mike is like, put your foot down. Don't let your wife run over you.
Man, I would never have told her. You run your own life, man. You don't let your wife run your life.
You never let a woman run over you kind of stuff.
Man, put your foot down every now and then. That's what I do. I put my foot down.
And then Poppy seems to kind of agree. Oh, well, actually, no, he disagrees. Because he says Kunta Kinte put his foot down and they chopped it off.
Kinte put his foot down and got it chopped off.
But I kind of understand because we make roots jokes all the time, right?
Yeah.
So I guess it's kind of that similar thing, but
off the
it's
record.
just the subject matter. Yeah, it's off the record, but
you know. But no, I mean,
every time I
guess.
say wagon, I say wagon.
Yeah, you know.
But I think that's just a thing that we laugh at. Like, just when we laugh at see, we like to make it like it's bad. Like when we eat the cake anime and all this, is that we're making fun of these people and their situations. And we're really not. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes some things are funny.
Yeah.
And it's just like here, little of the jokes and teasing, the fat teasing in here. Like some of that stuff is funny though too. And it's very much like I don't know. It's
like when we saw an unhoused person, right? And we tried to go give them some food.
Yeah.
And they, it's funny, but it's sad. He took the food. He said, "This guy's barbecue sauce." And we said, "No." And he just smashed it into the ground.
Y'all, it was some Popeyes. And we had another dinner, like you order the dinners, it's like,
it was an extra dinner.
And we had an extra 2-piece and we were like, we saw him and we said, would you like this? And then he takes it and he looks at it. And he's like, does it have barbecue sauce? Now, mind you, everybody know Popeyes. This dude know Popeyes. He up the street from Popeyes. He know Popeyes. And Popeyes don't have barbecue sauce on it. And so I'm like, no. And then he just slams it
He
down.
slammed it into the ground hard.
I don't know, like
he was spiking a football.
Yes. And when he did it, it was so appalling, but yet hilarious at the same time. And how he pulled off, I was just like, oh my gosh.
What in the world? But it's funny. But I'm sure he needed something to eat.
Yeah, but then I don't know if he did because later on we found out that's a different person.
No, that's the same person, but I think the story was...
Well, the newspaper had written about him in this little hamlet of a town.
Yeah.
And they were talking about, like, they were basically saying he was choosing to be there.
No, he told them.
Oh, he told
that
them.
It was a social experiment, basically.
Yeah,
but
so I really don't know what the deal was with him. I
that.
do think that he may have had some mental health issues.
Yeah. But it's funny that he just took the chicken and smashed it into the ground.
That was like, does it have barbecue? It was like a weird question, but yeah, it was absolutely hilarious.
So like, just because the situation is bad doesn't mean that you
funny
can't
things
laugh.
can't happen. So yeah, so that was wild. So, but so this idea of Terry telling Mike all the stuff his wife does to him, whispering, well, does she do this?
I married a freak.
Does she do? Yeah, he's
Mike
literally
gonna get
says,
your freak.
I married
tried.
a freak. Like the fact, I would be so embarrassed. Like if your husband says about you, I married a freak to his friend. Like this is not something that I need my husband's friends to know.
Yeah, I don't want to know. Women be talking about all that stuff,
Women
though.
do talk maybe more than we should.
I don't want to know nothing about what this woman is doing. That just makes me think
But I would say women do talk a little more.
I don't want to know what you doing either.
What you mean?
Not you, but a male friend.
You don't want to know what your male friend does, and you don't want to know what's being done to your male friend.
Especially what they talking about and doing now.
Oh, well, But yeah, I would be embarrassed. Like, I would be embarrassed if you told somebody, like, you know what I mean? You just telling your friends,
jokes
like,
or nothing.
I don't want doing X, Y, Z.
That's off limits.
Bro,
like, I don't want to hear nothing about this.
No.
Don't joke. Don't say nothing. But yeah, So they get on talking about their relationships, and Terry tells Mike he might learn to like Sheila because he got to take this little retreat seriously.
Well, you got to be
stuff.
friends is what he's trying to say. You know, we were friends before we got married.
See, we were friends before we got married.
And we love each other and da-da-da. Stop trying. He tells say stop trying to be her husband and be her friend.
Man, look, man, stop trying to be her husband and be her friend.
As if those are mutually exclusive from one another. But like, I get kind of the point of it, but it just is.
The thing is, you can't necessarily learn to like somebody. If it's dependent on that, then you might just have to leave. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, all Cheri does is listen to loud heavy metal music. I'm not learning to like that.
Right.
I'm gonna be like, come on, can you
cut it down?
Can you turn it off? Or you like, let's go to this whatever concert. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that.
And like there are always gonna be things that maybe your spouse likes that you don't like, but your spouse knows you don't like it and you know you don't like it, but you might be like, oh, well, for this person's birthday, I'm gonna do this. You know what I mean? You suffer through it for their sake, something, but not as a routine
Or we like,
thing.
yeah, we're going out and you dressing gothic and stuff when doing cosplay just in real life and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, do I have to learn to like it? I don't know. Because it's that thing that make you want to be in a relationship with the person, whether or not you like them.
Well, and what I also think is the more things that you have in common that are like, so there is something to be said, I think, for the friendship aspect of it, for
and
sure.
depending on how much time you're spending together.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, this was exposed during, the lockdowns, right? People were not able to be home with their kids and with their loved ones. And quiet is kept. A lot of people don't know this, but I don't know. You tell me I'm wrong when I say how long we actually were sequestered.
What you mean?
Because you tell me that I say it's too long. I think it was 2.5 years.
No.
How long was it?
I think it was a year and 10 months.
Okay.
But then we went out and then we were probably, I don't know, another 3-4 months. Like, it was wild. So,
but so we're literally,
we went out.
It was just the two of us in the house. And we did not face-to-face interact with anybody besides
we
each other.
didn't leave. We didn't go anywhere.
And we didn't strangle each other. I mean, it was just normal. It was pretty much like normal.
Yeah.
We just, it was just normal for us.
But but why does, I've been wanting to say it, Donna Stewart look like Tamala Mann?
Does she?
Yes. She looked just like her. It might be her.
No. but okay, I'm looking at it. I was thinking she looked like she sounded like somebody else and I can't call it. But I'm like, your voice is similar to somebody else's voice, but interesting. But, maybe there are some similarities.
That's why he
who I thought it was, her voice, the sound of her talking voice reminds me of, what's the lady from Hustle and Flow? The one who had the son.
Son?
Yes.
Oh,
and she.
Dang.
You know who I mean.
Dang, I got to look her up. Paula Jai Parker.
Paula
Jai Parker, yeah.
Her voice sounds like that to me. But yeah. But anyway, so Terry is giving this advice. Stop trying to be her husband and be her friend and whatever. And he's like, hey, I know you love her, but do you like her? And then Terry talks about not loving, but not liking his mother-in-law and all this and that. And so Mike throws out another bombshell. Sheila was pregnant when they got married.
When Sheila and I got married, y'all didn't even know she was already pregnant.
Man, we all knew that.
And he was like, I thought I was doing the right thing. And now Mike brings out that he thinks he wants a divorce. And then the men have to sing this song about how hard marriage is again.
Your love is a battle. Yes, it is.
And
but that's how it happens, right? Like, people have had arranged marriages and all sorts of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the military. People just get married just to get married, to get out the barracks and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And they last. It just... Sometimes it work, right? It ain't this. You do learn to like if it's enough commonality there, right? You spend enough time. We say this all the time. You spend enough time around somebody, you gain an affinity for them, and you start to like them. It's just natural.
And if you already had things in common, then it's just, yeah. Which is why I'm always surprised that more people, people always talk about being quote unquote friend zoned, but then how good of a friends really are you, right? Because I think that just may be a way to say I'm not interested A to Z.
Yeah, but it's basically like he's only 5'5".
But the thing is, what if? So if he's got all these other qualities and he's more
to
like
be a friend,
you and whatever, but like you go friend zone because you feel like, I don't know, maybe you feel like you're not sexually attracted to him or whatever the deal is. But, as far as longevity, that is a component. But the longer you planning on being together, certain things are going to be more important, like having the same ideas and ideals and what the vision of the world and what life is going to be like and what you would do in these situations, how you spend your money. If you a person who going to spend to your last and you marry somebody who don't, that's hard. That's a hard thing. If so but life is just easier when it's somebody who just thinks like you do.
Yep. So Mike just basically like, I want a divorce.
I don't like being around her. Dog, I think I want a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
And Terry responds with singing a song about why is she putting up with you?
Why are you putting up with this?
I don't know, but hey, it's the song. So that's what they do.
Hello, everybody.
Hold on. So Trina showed up, and just right off the bat, Diana is being funky, and I just I don't know why at this point, right?
Hello, Diana.
Mm-hmm.
It's
such an ungodly attitude.
Yeah, because all that Diana said was that she was a tramp since the 4th grade. That's it. That's all we've known. And then she come in, and then. Yeah.
But that's how people behave when they don't like you, then it's just it can be one thing, right? And then it's just that's it. And if you got to be around them, then you got to deal with
she didn't
that
even
and
speak.
extra.
Trina was trying to speak and be cordial, and she just ignored her.
But she comes switching in with a little short skirt.
How you doing?
Better.
Man, that skirt
then
is
she
not
started
short.
talking
I
about
guess it's 2025. That's not short.
it's a short skirt for the church. But Trina starts talking about how fine Terry is.
How is Terry doing?
He's fine.
Oh, you ain't got to tell me.
This is probably another reason that Diana don't like her, right? Because you talking about how fine her husband is. And, so she, as Sheila said, she is doing things to purposely antagonize Diane. And, they just probably don't like each other.
Yeah, but still, okay, this your friend who you invited to our retreat or whatever.
Diana
right?
is being rude.
Yeah, but I'm talking about that Trina is doing things to get to, like Sheila brought this lady over here, right? And then talking about don't let her get to you, but you brought her and she's trying to get, but it wasn't till after Diana was making those comments and basically ignoring her.
Yeah. So
then
it probably wouldn't have been a thing if she was just like, hey, or whatever.
So when we talked about Daddy's Little Girls, we kind of talked about this, how I'm supposed to look at a character a certain way, but I can't because of what's actually happened.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So in this sequence of events, it was like, all right, I kind of understand. And she's not all the way bad yet.
But then a weird thing happens, like Diana actually is salty about her Trina still after, and then she pulls out a gun and waves it, not in front of Trina, but after she leaves the room or whatever. She's like, oh yeah, Poppy got this in here, and then she literally pulls out the gun.
I remember Poppy keeps this right in the drawer, baby. I'll go Charlie's Angel up in here. You understand me?
Yeah. Even though she's joking, now we know that there's a gun in there.
But where did Trina go?
I don't know, probably
she went
to be
upstairs,
up around the men.
right? Yeah, to go be with the men. And then they just don't worry, just let her go up there with the two men.
With the men. Mm-hmm. So then Diana started being nasty again, talking about how all her babies was conceived up in that cabin and blah, blah, blah. But Sheila then tells Diana, because, they having their little heart-to-heart, that she caught Mike with a woman in her bed last year.
Dang.
I caught them together in my bed.
What?
Yes.
And that Sheila's like, and then I went for the woman. Basically, she's gonna beat the woman up. And she like, why you grabbing for the woman? That's what's wrong with these women now. You trying to blame the woman and da 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 da.
This is what's wrong with women these days. You need to go after your man. You understand me? Are you worried about her?
Yeah, so Cupid, Cupid Shuffle guy, he calls himself now the Line Dance King or something like that, right? So before he blew up, because, we from around the same parts, he had this song, you need to check the girl and you need to check the guy. It's basically that same thing about, when people get mad with the other person, even if it's not actually cheating, maybe just flirting or just suspecting something.
Yeah.
And you're basically checking the wrong person. But that's how I know Cupid, really, because of that song. And it was kind of popular. And, he used to go around performing and stuff. It might have been on the radio at some point.
Well, yeah. So it's being like, because I feel like all of these things being said are like the overt lessons are what Tyler Perry at this point in time, what his ideals were, what he thought.
Oh, yeah.
You shouldn't attack the woman. You should attack the man. That's your man. That's who you need to get with. Don't be mad at the woman. Here, go to the comments, y'all. Do you think that there's ever a time to attack the woman, or do I'm just curious, of what, how you guys see it now, or the person who's not your spouse? Because let's expand it, gentlemen. What do you guys think? I just look at it like there could be times where everybody needs to be cleaned up, swept up, snatched up, depending on the circumstance. In the case of like this film, Trina, everybody should have got it, but she should have, Trina should have caught that frying pan or
Trina.
bottle.
Oh, you mean
in the movie,
yeah.
Right? In the movie, Trina should have caught it. The bottle, she needed another bottle for Trina's head. Bust her upside her white meat too. Excuse me, I don't really mean it like that. I don't condone violence. I'm just saying in theory, right?
Okay.
In theory, in theory, because that was your friend. So you have a relationship with Trina. You have a relationship with your husband, and both people have betrayed you. So whatever the way that you would deal with that betrayal, in her case, she knocked him over the head, it would seem appropriate for both people to me. Versus a situation where it's just some random chick that and like we find out here when we're talking about Terry and Diana said that the woman didn't even know Terry was married because he had lied when he cheated on her. Yeah. So like a woman who didn't know and everything, why you running her down?
But
but your friend knew. You know what I'm saying? So that's like a different situation. They're not apples and oranges.
You mean Trina, friend?
Yeah. Yeah. Trina is the friend.
Right.
And so well, he's married. And on top of that, you have a relationship with the woman.
Diana did tell a story about, Terry getting caught and then shooting a woman. Like, bruh.
Just crazy.
Basically just shooting at him. But the thing was, I didn't hit him. I hit the woman. Like, okay, you were targeting him?
Like, so much is wrong with what's being reinforced in here, even though I know it's supposed to be outrageous and full of ratchetry and it's entertainment and it's humor. Like, there is the kind of point where, just like with, don't drink your juice in the hood, the guy pops up and he's like, listen, like,
message.
I do feel like message, that I do feel like that's what we're getting here, right? Like, don't go after the woman. Don't do this and that. And I'm not saying go after the woman. I'm just saying that,
Yeah.
How are we going to determine what the appropriate actions in any case, like, you can't make these sweeping
so this
judgments.
happened, right? It's like, I caught him. I started shooting at them, not caring what happened, who get hit and, the consequences, right?
Yeah.
The woman got hit in the leg and somehow she pressed charges as if that's required for you to go to jail for this. And then basically went in front of the judge and it was a black lady who, let her off. And then the crowd started applauding.
Yeah.
Like, wait,
it just
what?
was very crazy. It was just very crazy. And she's like, she spent 4 days in jail or whatever behind that whole incident.
That's it?
Then I just started thinking, okay, so the worst thing that happens to a man in this Tyler Perry universe of Why Did I Get Married is that he winds up with a fat wife, right? But the worst thing that the woman has happened to her is she got to forgive the philandering, cheating husbands and still then,
Well,
Just
what happened in that first movie? The play that became the first movie. What is it called? Diary of a Mad Black Woman.
he did.
He was paralyzed or something.
Yeah, he
right?
got something bad happen to him. So he got his in the end of that one, right? But like this, like, bruh. And then we get the dialogue between the two of them, the two women talking about, well, you know, did I do everything I was supposed to do as a wife? I didn't cook everything.
Did I do everything I was supposed to do as a wife? And I wasn't right.
Like, we not going like to go into the self-blame.
Well, I think that's just part of the character now, right? We're getting the character doesn't have this confidence or whatever we call it, self-esteem, right?
A man is only going to take no from his wife a certain amount of times before he find a woman who going to say it.
You know, I had to learn the hard way that a man is going to take no from his wife only so many times.
Look.
But then it's reinforced, right, by Diana, who says, you worked hard to get that man.
Yeah.
What?
You worked hard to get that man. Honey, that only means you got to work harder to keep him.
Gotta work harder to keep him.
What hard work you had to do,
what
though?
hard work did you do to get knocked up before marriage and have a shotgun marriage to him? Like, what hard work was involved with that? Like, help me understand.
She worked hard to. Yeah, so they have that whole exchange, but then you get the.
But there's always some woman out there trying to put her application in for your man is the message that Diana is leaving Sheila with.
Now, there's always some woman out there slipping around trying to put in her application for your man.
You know, like, basically, you gotta be. And I know this is a stereotype, but, girl,
is it
no.
not? Well, maybe that's what it was like back then.
I think that there have always been hoochies and harlots and thoughts and whatever other common day name that you want to call women of ill repute. However, you know, I just think that for that to be the focus of everything, and just in case, listen, you ain't going to be able to stop a person. And that just doesn't go just for a man. I'm saying anybody's determined to do something is going to do that. And whether the dinner was cooked or not, or whether he XYZ or not, it's not really determining that, you know, because the flip could happen. You know, she could be struggling with her struggle man with his job where he doesn't make a whole lot of money. And then some, you know, let's just take, what's the name of that? Dead Presidents. We got Cuddy coming through with some cash and, you know, always being around while Anthony is, you know, getting laid off from his job and stuff like that.
That's why you got to be careful about your woman left at home.
Well,
right? Same idea.
You know, but listen, if you spend a lot of time together and you enjoy each other.
Okay, I learned some new language from the kids. It's always some man who's willing to crack.
What is crack?
That. It's basically
that means
smash.
Yeah. Oh my god.
They're talking about cracking now.
The evolution of their language, you know. But yeah, you know, so it can go both ways is my point. I'm not trying to, you know, characterize either men or women in that way. I'm just saying that it's a people thing.
But why did they both simulate bussing twice?
Mm-hmm.
That was
very weird.
Yeah. What? Hold up. They actually did the sound and the motion and stuff. It's,
you know, but Troy finally arrives and he walks in with a guitar in his hand, you know.
Hey,
Troy!
Hey, what's going
finally
on?
made it.
So the crowd was really into this exchange between Mike and Sheila. But before that, we had a song, a true gospel song, and everybody jumped in because Troy showed up. And
And he got a restaurant, so he, you know, but he didn't bring any woman with him. We were expecting him to come with a woman like he does every year. It didn't happen. So then they all are there together, and
Sheila
they start
was coveting
singing.
Troy, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like, so it's okay for Troy to show up single, but not
Trina. Yeah,
I guess because I think the men had a problem with Trina showing up because they were like, why did you invite her?
But I think the problem was not so much Trina herself, but that it's going to upset Happy Wife, Happy Life. It's going to upset the women, and then that's going to upset my peace in this house for the weekend.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, maybe it would have been, I don't know, you know, I don't know. But yeah, but I agree, they sang that song together.
Well, I'm glad to be in that number. Well, I'm glad to be in that number.
What do you think of the music so far?
Yeah, it's all right, and you know,
like
this song wasn't too long.
The songs the men sing together, the second song that was the
Why
men's
is she
relationship
putting
song.
up with you song?
Yeah, that was a little dry for me. But this one was good. You know.
So I think the songs are getting worse as it goes on.
You might be right.
So the first one was the best, then the second one, and then this one is, but I don't know. There's something about this one that was better, probably because it had different people on it, right?
Cheryl
Then you got
Pepsi
Cheryl
Riley
Pepsi
at
Riley.
the end,
Yeah, exactly.
and she is giving you all that you need in any gospel song, gospel runs. Like she giving you a run for your money. She did what she came to do. Like she could sing.
Yeah.
So that helps.
So then after the song, Sheila went up to Mike and was like, I want to talk to you, because Sheila was trying to get cracked, basically.
Shut up.
I don't know if you can use it like that, or is it, I think you can say.
Look, if you young, because we just found out we got a couple of people who young, who
Oh,
listen
bruh.
and watch us. Yes, so if you young, can he use the word crack like that here? Let us know.
She's trying to get cracked. I think you can use it that way.
Everybody, I was thinking maybe we could go in the room and talk in private.
But so she get upstairs with him, and then it just goes left because Sheila want to go to counseling, and Mike is like, no, I don't want to go to counseling. For what? So they could tell me everything I'm doing wrong?
Counseling.
Yeah.
Girl, I ain't going to no counseling.
He's turned it on her and stuff, and it's kind of what today we would call a narcissist. You know,
You can't lose. You lose 50 pounds, then we could talk about counseling.
I tell you what, you lose about 50 pounds, then we could talk about counseling.
Damn.
Not even I'm gonna go. We could talk about it. And she like, I've been trying, and he like, you fat and disgusting.
Now, what would make you think I would want to be with something like that? You are fat and disgusting.
She like, I'm your wife, and he like, you my problem. Like he just being just
everything
ridiculous.
And then the
I'm your wife.
No, you are my problem.
crowd is like, woo!
They like,
That's
oh
what's
my
different with these
goodness.
movies, though,
Yeah.
right?
You don't get to hear the audience response, and that does add something to it, you know. And she's just like, I'll do whatever you want. I'll do whatever you.
I love you so much, and I want this to work, baby. Please, you know what? Whatever you say, I'll do.
And then he has to say, you do anything.
Whatever you say, I'll do. I promise.
You do whatever I say.
Yes, baby, I will.
Whatever I say.
Yes, yes.
And she's
Are
like,
you sure?
yes,
Anything.
Yes, I'll do whatever you want. She say, and he say,
Go to hell, bruh.
bruh, that was just terrible.
Go to hell.
And then he just walked out.
And like, to me though, this is like the epitome of just an emotionally abusive relationship. Like, clearly she's like desperate. She's like, I'll do anything. And he just don't care. He don't care. He is done. Like, ugh.
Why are you even here then? It don't make sense to me. Or maybe I don't know.
My thing is, if you hate me like that, just go ahead then.
Yeah, you could have sent Sheila and then just called up Trina, and then you'd have had your time alone. Like, why are you even over here?
Well, she dragged him on the trip. He didn't even want to go.
Man,
so
whatever.
That was the story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. For those of you who don't know, you should visit axiom.app. And you'll be able to look at all of the recent videos across all of our channels. And I'm putting that on the screen right now just so y'all can see it and see what it looks like. Because there are a ton of videos that are over there. And also, I think that there are at least about 100 exclusive videos that are available for our Patreon members and our YouTube members. So, you know, if you're interested in more of our content, as I've seen many of you binge watching, be sure to check those things out.
When you gonna get married, son? When you gonna settle down, quit playing around?
So Deacon Poppy is talking to Troy, and he's asking him, when are you going to get married? And then we find out that Troy's just having all the problems with the women. It's not him.
When I find the right woman, then I'll get married.
Okay.
It's like
them.
when I find the right woman.
Yeah.
You know, one woman was a dominatrix, another woman, he wasn't the only man. And, you know, yeah. So Troy just catching a hard time. Meanwhile, Sheila come downstairs and she's looking for Mike. And Mike is on the couch over there with Trina.
Mike, baby, listen. Oh, hey, Ty. Come here.
And
Trina and them, they're being friendly. Right? But see, that is what Diana is trying to show Sheila, but
she don't want to hear
if Sheila
What's wrong?
You see this? I don't like this, Sheila.
tells the truth, though. You know, we're all friends and stuff, but they talk about stuff I'm not really into. Which
Besides, they talk about stuff I'm not really interested in, like sports and cars and stuff.
Which brings us back to what Terry and Mike were talking about when Terry told Mike, you might learn to like her, right? And this whole conversation we had. It's that, see, they're into something different too at the same time.
And sometimes what you think you might not be into, if you give it a try, you might like it more than you think.
Yeah, but the thing is,
but she's like, I'm not interested in sports, and they're talking sports together. How interesting.
He found somebody who he has, quote, more in common with, right? Or some commonality.
Or at least she's feigning having it in common and being interested, right?
And she's
because that's what the floozies do.
Yeah.
See, they know how to pretend to be interested in stuff for the sake of,
Don't try that with me, because I'm gonna figure it out and be like, nah, I'm gonna need some depth in my conversations about whatever it is.
But bruh, just don't try it. But at any rate, it's just wild to me though that Trina and Mike are just, Mike is just trifling, so of course we should expect that for him.
And
but
so is Trina.
They just so out in the open with their foolishness.
But Trina, why would she express, if we know who she is, what she there for, talking about she feel like a fifth wheel?
Diana, okay, I already feel like a fifth wheel.
I feel like a fifth wheel. And then Diana was like, well then you need to roll the hell on out then.
You need to roll the hell on out of here.
And I thought that was funny. That was like a funny line because I wasn't expecting it. I don't know that I've heard that before. Most of Tyler Perry's comedy, like it'll be these lines, but it's lines that we all know. I haven't heard that then you need to roll on out about a fifth wheel, but maybe some other people have. I hadn't heard that.
Yeah.
And it was a little funny to me. But Sheila comes over and tries to sit on the couch next to her husband, and Mike just turned his back to her literally and don't make space for her on the couch.
Sometimes he just has me.
Yeah.
If your man is acting like this to you and favoring another woman just right in your face, like you gonna have to face reality at some point. Since you can't face your man because his back is to you, you don't have to face some realities.
Troy came all by himself this year, all alone.
Sheila is trying to set up Trina with Troy. She basically is like, hey, Trina, Troy came here by himself this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Trina is like, Troy, no, Troy is weak.
Hey, Troy is weak. I don't do weak men.
And, you got Sheila like, he's not weak. He's just a nice guy.
Oh, no, Troy is not weak. I mean, he's just a nice guy. That's all.
So let's talk about that, because I do think that deserves some acknowledgement, is that this is where I think Tyler Perry got things right. Nice guys, a lot of times some women will look at them like they're weak in some way. Like, what does he have to be? Okay, so you have overt machismo, if you will, this macho mess, and the ones, the peacock, right? And then you have guys that are a little bit more low key, that are nice and decent human beings that you probably could be a lot happier with, but because they're not flexing and acting like a peacock, they get overlooked. And I do think that's a real thing.
Okay, so can you even recognize what so-called strength is anyway, right? You just putting they put qualities on some things that just may not be the case, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he got tattoos all over. You know what I'm saying? And then that means that somehow this is more masculine, or comes with more.
Or if he talks a certain way, roughneck, like she said, you want a roughneck brother. You want a roughneck that's gonna hit you.
Satisfy.
I know, right?
Oh, I get it. So you like roughnecks to slap you upside your head and call you names?
Yeah, I need a breaking. Y'all know that song. Y'all know. And if you don't know, your mama and your aunties know. And your grandma might know, but yeah, Adina Howard.
Yeah,
that was a song. They was rocking that song in the 90s.
But I do think that Trina delivered a line that will be very popular today.
Which is?
She said, he could be my financee,
not my
fiance. Ooh, bars.
He could be my financee, just not my fiance.
Because that's how a lot of them are thinking today, and maybe back then they were thinking this way too. But I think it's made its way into popular culture in an unapologetic
now,
sort of
I think,
sense.
too.
Exactly, unapologetic. And So Sheila, just the fact that she's trying to hook up Troy and Trina is like, okay. And then you need to worry about your own situation instead of be trying to hook some other folk up.
Bruh, you could walk and chew gum at the same time.
Listen, no, not at this time. This is crisis. Your man done told you to go to hell. If you look, it's DEFCON 5. If you done your man done told you to go to hell.
Right. It's okay. So all this happens. She's still trying to set them up.
Or is it DEFCON 1? Which one is it? The
I don't
highest
know.
level of alert is where you got
I
to be.
have no idea.
Whichever one that is. You know, because this is not like it's falling apart. Like it has hit the fan. Girl, he leaving you and you over here like, well, I can hook y'all up. No, keep your eye on your own paper. You got business to handle.
Right.
But anyway, she trying to hook them up. So Trina says that she gonna marry the right rich man.
Yeah.
That's what she says.
Excuse me, but when I get married, it's going to be to the right rich man.
And then Trina and Diana get into it. And because Diana's like, you know what? You stupid.
You are stupid.
Who in the hell do you think you call stupid?
And then the men come in and they break up their, getting at each other or whatever.
God, come on now. I know you're upset, but would you just calm down?
And then Diana points out, like, why is your man running behind her?
What?
Why is your man running behind her?
Because
when Trina ran out because she jumped up and left, then Mike's like, hold up, I gotta go save my baby.
Just want to have a good weekend. Can't we do that for me, please?
Hello.
I gotta see what's
I
up
gotta
with
go
my
comfort
boo.
my baby.
What a mess.
Oh, thank you, Mike. You always know how to make me feel better.
Okay, so a lot happened.
You know, I do what I can. Yeah.
Oh, and what you can do, you do well.
So they come back, both the Trina and Mike come back in after he's run out after her, and they talking, you know what just to do to make me feel better, and da-da-da-da-da, did a little talking and, whatever. And so when everybody sees this, they're like, what's going on? And
Mike, where you two been?
And Trina is just talking about how, they were at the lake or whatever and they went fishing.
We were at the lake doing a little talking, a little fishing,
The body talking, fishing for trouble.
Sheila asked, did you catch anything? Like, come on, all this is going on and this is what's happening. And Diana is like, I hope so. So everybody know what's happening between the two.
What y'all been doing while we were gone?
We were actually sitting here waiting on you two.
And in the meantime, you got Diana and Terry trying to act like they got the best marriage that ever existed.
Bruh, so Trina brings this up, right? You're acting like you're just a perfect couple, right?
Nobody is that happy.
He's talking about our marriage and how happy we are.
Oh, I could just throw up.
Why does anytime somebody talk about being happy or having a good relationship, they always have to mention negative, right? And that's from the perspective of the people who saying that is good or they're happy, like Terry.
It's hard work.
We argue, but marriage is hard work. What?
Because it's like saying,
why can't you just say that is good?
I climbed a mountain, and it was so hard. It's like if you ask a person how to do a thing and they're like, well, it's going to take you long. It's going to be hard. It's going to,
Yeah.
Because it's also like a backdoor brag on themselves to say, look, we survived. We did this. But yeah, they were getting to be a bit too much with their, oh, our marriage is so wonderful. Look, he was just cheating last year, whenever it was. Like, come on. So finally, Diana just comes out and she accuses Trina and Mike of sleeping together.
Now, any fool can see that you and Mike been messing around.
And, she's like, tell Sheila that you after her man.
Tell Sheila that you are after her man.
And then Sheila's all upset and she's finally like, let's just cut this weekend short and whatever.
Let's just cut this weekend short and go.
Mistake, Sheila. Wait, don't leave, okay?
And let's just leave.
Mike, go ahead and pay him. So Mike, I guess, trying to pull out cash. I don't know what he's doing.
To pay for their weekend.
And
why isn't it already paid for? But okay.
Yeah.
Yes, he dropped a condom wrapper on the ground and it was empty.
Wait. You dropped something, Trojan man.
It was used. No rubber in sight.
The wrapper is empty and the condom is missing.
So then, basically Mike got into Diana's face though, and Terry finally stood up a little extra and was like, oh no, you got that wrong, player.
Danny, you need to mind your
Hey, hold on, dog. That's the wrong one.
So then, and all the men in the audience, I could hear male voices because the women been screaming the whole play. They be but dude, I heard some deep voices when he stood up and got in front of Mike when Terry did to be like, get out my wife's face. Like, come on, bruh. You know, this is a little bit too much.
It's the wrong one. Right?
Yeah. And so Trina finally admits that, you know, they sleeping together.
Yeah, because Sheila is like, Trina, are you and Mike sleeping around? Basically, like, she has to just ask.
Trina, are you and Mike messing around?
And then Trina's like, well, yeah.
Well, yeah.
And that she thought that Mike was
supposed to tell you a long time ago.
He was supposed to tell you already.
Truth is out now.
My God.
And then Mike, he just went over and started
Mike is like,
holding
the truth is
Trina.
out now.
Terry, he done lost his mind. Baby, he done lost his Terry.
Bro, what?
She started holding her and consulting.
They flaunted.
Yeah.
And then Sheila's over there crying. Ooh,
But
you know?
and then Diana is going, they deserve each other. What does that do?
That don't do nothing if you
They
sitting up there with a
deserve
broken
together.
heart in this messed up
it's
scenario.
like they deserve no one and to be.
Man. So he pulled out some keys, though. This is where, you know, because Mike was, I don't know which Mike was
apologized.
worse. He's like, I'm sorry, you know, da-da-da-da-da. He pulled out some keys. He like, this is an apartment I'm renting back home for you.
These are keys to an apartment I rented for you back home, all right?
He like the
So
guard
did he
at
plan on breaking it to her this weekend?
You know he did. He was probably like, I'm gonna break up with her. Oh, you gonna force me to come? Okay, I'm coming with these keys to your new apartment. Then he's like, I told the guard at the gate, they're instructed not to let you in.
Changed the locks on the doors and instructed the guard at the gate not to let you in, okay?
And pick up the kids at your mama's house.
And you can go on and pick the kids up from your mama's house tomorrow.
You know, I mean, like, he just is being cold-blooded. So I don't know. Go to the comments. Which Mike was worse? The Mike in this play, or Mike when he was like, you know, I told Paco to put some bars on it. You could keep the house. Da 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 da. At least she got the so-called keep the house, because he said he paid her rent for 6 months in an apartment in this. So the audience is actually cackling, laughing. I noted that.
Yeah, but it was because Diana was over there doing stuff that we can't really see on camera. Right? So they did show part where she got some Vaseline and started putting it on her face like a boxer and stuff.
Oh, yeah, like she was about to get involved.
Yeah, but we don't see what's happening.
Yeah, it's a different experience if you're watching a film of a stage play.
Yeah,
so yeah.
While Mike is over there going back and forth with Sheila, we got this comedy in the background. But what we see is Sheila breaking down and everybody laughing.
Yeah, and it's just because I was like, why are they laughing like this? Why are they laughing?
I'm sorry, Sheila.
So then finally Diana steps in, because remember, Diana is a whole attorney, and she's like, we gonna see you in court. You said and did all this in front of me, and I'm an attorney. We gonna see you in court or whatever.
I'll be handling this case personally. You understand me? We will see you in court.
And Trina is talking about, come on, Sheila, just come on. You know, like she went from like sort of being fake friend to just being like, okay, girl, I got your man now. So just come on, just get you, let's go.
Come on, Sheila, baby. He'll explain everything to you in the car.
And she was about to go. And Sheila was about to leave with them.
Yeah.
Bruh.
And then Sheila's like, no, I think I need to just, and then Sheila just snapped, had that meltdown. She went in that drawer and pulled out that gun, and she just started shooting after him. And Mike and Trina run out, and she goes outside and continue. Like, how many times?
But she shot Mike in the ass.
Yeah, she did. And how many times did she? Because it was like she did at least about 10 times. I don't even know. Is that more than what's in the clip? I don't even know. But
was this Tyler Perry trying to do some foreshadowing when he had Diana tell the story, basically? Because that's basically what happened. And then you got Diana be like, girl, don't be doing that, throwing your life away. But you just explained you did the same thing.
That's what I was going to say. And you were
got away
telling her
with
to throw her life away, talking about don't lose your life in no man. Sis, you was just telling her like, oh, you got to do everything for this man. And oh, you ain't doing enough. You got to keep your man. Like, you were just saying, basically, let her world revolve around a man. Now it's like, don't throw your life away. Girl, I don't know. The mixed messages is just a bit much for me.
But that's how people are.
So then they, you know, the way she's crying. I mean, what I would say is the way that Cheryl Pepsi Riley started crying like Sheila was just like the cries are just like, ooh, it started touching, because like it felt real. It started touching me. It started touching me. I was like, ooh, okay, girl.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
And then it's of course a song about heartbreak and Lord, you know, so this is her song where she's just like, finally I'm going to just cry out for help from the Lord.
Yeah, this song was way too long and everything. And she's
because
talking
it had
about,
a reprise. Is that what you would call it? Like it ended and then it came back.
I guess.
It
I don't
ended
know.
and it came back on you.
She's talking about marrying a man without consulting you, talking to God. It's more than just a sin.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is that a thing? Like,
but we
what?
get a little tidbit though of other stuff. We find out that he was hitting her. That's part of the lyrics of the song. And she's like, you know, Lord, give me the strength to leave him. I'm like, sis, he gone. He left. What you need the strength to leave him? You only need strength.
You don't
to
need
get
to do
through.
anything.
You could just sit there. You could go to the little apartment he done got you because it's a wrap. He done left with the other chick. What you mean? Strength to leave him. But I do wonder for Cheryl Pepsi Riley because she was actually real crying, real tears. And how do you sing and cry at the same time? Suffering! I'm suffering! Suffering, Lord! Because I can't imagine. Okay, so when you're in high emotions, it is harder to sing. It's certainly harder to sing on key.
It depends on what makes you cry.
Breath. Maybe.
Some people can just make themselves cry, and some people have to channel something to make themselves cry.
But I'm saying even if I channel something that's gonna induce tears,
that's what I'm saying. But if you
how do you
don't,
sing through
all right.
that?
But what I'm saying is some people don't have to do that, and they just cry, so it's not the same thing.
Because I'm like, girl, you did it because the fact that you could do that, and then she was hitting extra high notes and all kind of extra stuff when she was singing that song, it was believable.
But you know how people cry in church and sing, so you know it's probably just part of it too, right?
Maybe so.
If you ain't never been in no church, people be crying and singing in there. And like funerals and stuff too, of course.
But the person who's usually singing is not usually the one crying.
Yeah, it is.
Because I always wonder how it is that the vocalist manages to not cry because the emotion of the song. How do you not cry when you see people crying? How do you keep singing when you see that? Because, you know, as criers go, you got different cry. Maybe you have people who are like empathetic criers, right? If I see you crying, that's going to make me cry. And maybe I'm like an empathetic crier, you know, in addition to just the songs and the music themselves, you know, being moved to that point, you know. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they do it.
So which mic is worse though?
Which mic is worse? Because we have come to the end of this part of the part one, if you will. Because now this has happened, it goes to an interlude, and then the next thing we're gonna see is them opening up a year from now.
Yeah, so I think this mic is worse.
Yeah.
Because in the film, the first film, he was saying some things, and the whole, you know, you got to drive, and something about her big ass, and it's right. But in this one, it was just relentless, and
just
it was
raw.
over and over, just kept saying stuff. And then when the big blow up, it was mostly about Sheila, right? So the stuff he was saying in that moment was just digging, twisting a dagger.
See, in the movie, we get the scene, the infamous dinner scene where he tells everybody else's secrets, right? After he is exposed. Whereas we don't get that here. We just get more and more just being down on Sheila, you know, and that's what kind of makes this hit even harder. But I would just say overall, so like for the first half, like, what do you think? How are you feeling about this? Do you know?
Yeah, I think that's a good conclusion. Of course, it's the songs. Like this last song was just way too long, and I wasn't into that.
Well, I think I'm kind of contemplating like the number of couples, because you know you always get the feeling that the first movie especially centered around Mike and Sheila, but it was also presenting these other couples and their problems at the same time. Whereas this allows you to really focus almost solely just on Mike and Trina. I mean, we get a little bit of Terry and Diana, but you know, it's not the same, right? So what do you think about the decisions to make these other familiar characters different people in the movie? Like Troy is not Sheriff Troy. He's their old friend that they've known their whole life.
Yeah,
Same
it's
thing
sort
with
of
Trina.
like you don't even need the same character names and stuff, right? It's like just write a different.
It should have been maybe a different character. But if that's who she winds up with, you want to keep it to be the same name. I don't know, because I don't know what happens next.
Yeah,
you know?
but it doesn't matter, right? It's just because if you just write them with a different name, it's who cares, right? If they end up being the same person, we know that this is about kind of how Mike and Sheila, you know, their relationship and what happened, and she probably gonna get with Troy. But okay.
Y'all go to the comments. Which was more realistic? Like up to this point in the movies or up to this point in the film play?
What do you mean
like,
realistic?
Realistic in like, could this really happen? Because I think it's wild that he actually went out and slept with old girl on the lake with his wife, like right there. You just went out.
And
but
kept
I guess
the rap.
yeah. Whereas in the movie, he was sleeping with Trina, but Trina and him were in the room. He snuck in her room while his wife wasn't there. Right, because it was while Sheila was still driving up the mountain or spending the night with Sheriff Troy because she couldn't get up the mountain.
She was spending the night with Sheriff Troy.
But yeah, the play is just different, right? It gives me different feels, you know, than the movie. You know, because the first movie, I was absolutely in love with the first movie from 2007 when I saw it initially in the theaters to then, you know, when it came out and I could watch it on demand. I watched that movie a million times and I just loved that movie. I don't feel like the same attachment to the play. I don't. And I think because the play was a little bit too preachy for me, I also feel like there was too much woman blame up in this play that I didn't like, you know?
But you also didn't see the play first. So
that too.
That's always
that too.
Do something.
You know, so I don't know. What do y'all think? Did y'all see the play first or the movie first? And for those of you guys who didn't catch it at the beginning, I have not seen the play. This is literally my first reaction to the play. I've never seen it before. And so even the second half, I don't know what's going to happen other than assuming the same thing that happened in the movie will happen. And we see here some of the characters are a little bit different and stuff. So it'll be a surprise to me.
But yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, but we appreciate, as always, you guys sticking around for this. This is like a new thing that we can kind of think about and analyze and stuff. But, you know, the stage play is definitely a completely different experience than the film.
If you made it this far, type "well yeah" in the comments so we'll know you're one of the real ones who stick around to the end.
And be sure to check out one of the videos that's on the screen right now, and also visit axiom.app where you will find all of our recent videos in one place from all of our different channels, because some of y'all don't know we have 3+ channels out here that you should be subscribed to, all linked in the description. Be sure to do that and you'll get the links back to YouTube. Bye-bye.